So Venom Let There Be Carnage is finally out, and I think that everyone watching this video probably already knows this, but this whole production has had a lot of drama surrounding it, and especially recently the drama has been ramping up with the release of the movie coming out soon. If you haven't seen this is the Rotten Tomatoes scores, but this article right here kind of killed a lot of the hype, especially around this community, which actually is very powerful and very big. A lot of people try to discredit the people that are around this community, and I'm not talking about just me, I'm not talking about just my supporters and my channel, I'm talking about everyone who's involved in this side of YouTube. Is actually a very powerful space, and stuff like this can really kill hype from movies in our space, and it can really, you know, take a lot of money out of the pocket of the movie, the proverbial pocket, I guess, of Venom Let There Be Carnage. And Andy Serkis comes out and says Let There Be Carnage features Venom's LGBTQIA coming out party, and this really got a lot of people mad, like me. You know, it made me just not want to see the movie at all. I kind of already said that I'm checking out of Hollywood. I'll watch stuff like Dune, I'll watch everything that's Star Wars that comes out. But other than that, I'm just kind of checking out of Hollywood. I'm not going to watch the new James Bond movie, even though Chris Gore came out and said that it's actually pretty good, and I trust Chris Gore. But, you know, Robert Meyer Burnett came out and said that Shang-Chi was good, and that movie was horrible in my opinion, and I really respect Robert Meyer Burnett and his opinion. So maybe I'm just, you know, not going to be able to like these movies anymore. So I'm just going to go ahead and check out of Hollywood. I wasn't going to watch Venom, but the reviews that I've seen from people that I trust, like Yellow Flash right here, we'll talk about that in a second, but reviews like that kind of make me want to go see the movie. Stuff like James Bond, I'm not going to bother seeing because I already know I'm not going to like it. Most of Hollywood, I'm checking out, you know, I'm out of here. And stuff like this makes it even worse. You know, it makes me want to check out even more. And honestly, I wasn't planning on seeing Venom, but now that after the critic scores were really bad, 60%, those are obviously coming out first because the critics get to see the movie early. After seeing that, I was like, okay, this movie is probably bad and it's woke. After Andy Serkis comes out and says this, but it seems like that's actually not the case. It seems like Yellow Flash, who I trust his opinion a lot, I'd give Venom to a 7 out of 10, which is not bad. You know, it's pretty good, especially for people like Yellow Flash, who, you know, no offense, I don't mean this in a bad way. This is actually a good thing, but he's pretty cynical about things. So I don't think that he would give it a 7 out of 10 lightly. You know, that I don't take that lightly when Yellow Flash gives something a 7 out of 10. I didn't care for the interpretation of Carnage. It has its moments though. And he also says right here, don't worry, I'm not going to go through the spoiler part. Don't worry. No spoilers in this video. Also, that Venom is gay thing was complete BS. Movie wasn't woke either. And I know I always say this all the time. Just because a movie isn't woke, it doesn't mean that the movie is good. That shouldn't be our metric for a good film. And it's definitely not mine. You know, that'll never be my metric for a good film. But just subconsciously, whenever I hear that a movie is or isn't woke, it kind of does make me want to see the movie or not see the movie. You know, subconsciously, there's something that happens where because there's so many woke movies, because there's so many woke films now and shows and everything, you can't really escape it, that whenever you do hear a fun movie like Venom 2 or like Venom Let There Be Carnage isn't woke, it's only an hour and a half, you might as well go see it. You know what I mean? Like, it's probably a lot of fun, especially because it isn't woke, and the Venom is gay thing is complete BS. And I don't know, I'm not a Venom expert. You know, I know a decent amount about him from the comics. I know a decent amount about Marvel comics and just certain characters' origin stories and these superhero or, you know, super people. Every time I call Venom a superhero, people get mad at me. So super people films, I'm sorry. I can't recite the entire Venom backstory from start to finish, but I do know a decent amount about him. Let me know in the comments though, because I saw a lot of people on Twitter saying that it's actually in the source material that Venom is actually gay. So I don't know. I didn't know that. I've never seen that. I've never heard that. But recently, a lot of people were saying that. Let me know in the comments if that's true, because I have no idea. But people like Yellow Flash are, you know, giving it a good review, making me want to go see the movie. There is a lot of backlash though from the critics. The critics are really hating this movie, and honestly, I've seen a lot of casual people hate this movie too. I think I saw a tweet right here. I saw Venom Let There Be Carnage. This was by far the best part, and it's the credits rolling. So that person is, I mean, he's a blue check, but I don't know who he is. He didn't like the movie at all. The critics really didn't like the movie. I haven't even looked at these reviews yet. In a world where superpowered protagonists are celebrated for their honorable heroism, Hardy's bumbling sincerity serves as a welcomed change of pace. I think that kind of sums up the Venom franchise pretty well. You know, Tom Hardy, he kind of really makes the movies. I love Tom Hardy as an actor. He makes a lot of the movies that he's in. But Venom Let There Be Carnage never reaches the laugh out loud highs its narcissistic alien protagonist would assume, and the much hyped climactic battle is muddled at best. Venom Let There Be Carnage feels like a lot of setup for little payoff. I wouldn't think that there's going to be a lot of payoff in an hour and a half long movie. It's kind of like, it reminds me of like Suicide Squad 2. You know, there wasn't a lot of payoff in that movie, even though there was, you know, small payoffs here and there. there really just wasn't that much payoff in the movie, which I think is what that movie really lacked for me. It was fun. Yeah, it was kind of fun, in the beginning. It was fun towards the end. The middle was kind of a lull, and then there was no real payoffs at the end. But, it is what it is. It was a fun movie, and I think that's probably what Venom 2 is going to be. Like I said, only an hour and a half. Clocking in at a trim 90 minutes, Let There Be Carnage is easily the shortest modern-day superhero movie. It's half an endgame long. It's also half an endgame good. The fact that it's getting very average reviews, but at the same time, it's only 90 minutes, it makes me want to see the movie even more. It actually just went up 1%, so congrats to Venom. But it makes me want to see the movie even more, because it's not like that big of a time investment. It's actually only an hour and 26 minutes, and that probably includes the credits. But the audience score is 85% in comparison to the critic score, which is usually the case. Usually the audience does not agree with the critics, and even a lot of people out there. This isn't how I think quite yet. I'm not that jaded yet. But whenever they saw that the critics weren't liking the movie, they were actually happy. They were like, okay, this movie is probably pretty good. If the critics aren't liking it, it's probably not woke, and it's probably a pretty good movie. It's probably a pretty fun movie, because we know how critics are. They're kind of like film snobs, if it's a fun movie, yeah, and I'm kind of the same way. I'll be honest with you. I don't like stuff like John Wick. I don't like Fast and Furious. But stuff like Suicide Squad 2, I can handle. I think that's actually a pretty fun movie. I just don't, for whatever reason, John Wick and Fast and Furious just get on my nerves. But stuff like Venom, I can understand. The comedic stuff with Tom Hardy, I can get behind a movie like Venom just being dumb fun, especially when it's only an hour and a half long. If we have 3-hour long movie of just dumb fun from Venom, I wouldn't be able to sit through that. I'll be honest. That's not my type of movie. I wouldn't be able to do that. But the critics kind of agree with me on that, I guess, but not really with the hour and 30 minutes thing, because the hour and 30 minutes part kind of saves the movie for me. The critics just see a dumb, fun movie, and, they're all film snobs, so they're not going to like the movie. They're going to give it a bad score. Kind of like me with Fast and Furious and John Wick. I don't like those movies, but I can kind of get behind a Suicide Squad or Venom movie, these superhero movies that are dumb fun, or super people. Sorry, purist out there. Please don't yell at me in the comments. Super people movies. Let's check out some of the Twitter reactions real quick. Venom, the best he's looked in any sequel. Let's see. The end credit scene for Venom, I'm not going to say anything about that. While certainly not for everyone, I really enjoyed Venom 2. It's good to see that the audience scores are even higher than the first one, and while still not great critic scores, the film has almost 2 times more positive reviews than the first. First had 30%, this has 59%, and it's actually at 61 now, so it is more than double the positive reviews. Venom 2 just made more on its opening Thursday night than Shang-Chi did. Shang-Chi ended up making $75 million opening weekend. I guess Venom would make max $60 million. It might end up being much bigger. That'd be great, man. I hope all these movies make a lot of money. I want the theater industry to survive. I want Hollywood to continue making movies, because like I said, I'm kind of checking out of Hollywood, but there will be a diamond in the rough every once in a while. Every once in a while, we'll accidentally get a good movie. Venom might be that movie. If it's not woke, if it is actually dumb fun, only an hour and a half, it might be that movie. Every once in a while, we'll get these dumb fun movies. And also, I don't want to ever lose out on the possibility of seeing a Star Wars movie in theaters again, because a lot of people out there saying that Star Wars is made for the small screen. I kind of disagree. I think that there's nothing like a Star Wars day. Waking up and knowing that Star Wars is coming out later, or you're going to go see a Star Wars movie later on in that day in the movies. There's no feeling like it, man. I get goosebumps just thinking about it. Everyone's talking about the post-credit scene in Venom 2. It's great, but it's not the most significant reveal in the movie. The absolute worst. Okay, let's move on. I don't want to talk about the actual plot too much in case people don't want to be spoiled at all. Venom Let There Be Carnage is finally in theaters. I wasn't a huge fan. Tom Hardy as Eddie and Venom is fun, but I still want to see them in a story that feels organized, meaningful, and fresh. Post-credits is the best part. Looking forward to what you all think this weekend. So, as you can see, a lot of the audience, a lot of the casual audience, the non-critics, the people, the access media people are really liking the movie. But as always, the critics kind of disagree with those people. 61% critic score, 85% audience score. I think it's probably going to be a lot of dumb fun. Like I said, I know I've said this a bunch of times in this video, but an hour and a half of dumb fun is something I can get behind. A 3-hour movie that's dumb fun, I can't really get behind that. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. If you want to follow me on Twitter, the links to that will be in the description as well. Thank you for watching the video. See you in the next one.